Welcome to your next step up the self-publishing mountain.
I'm Matilda Swift, author of quintessentially British cozy mysteries.
And I'm Samantha Cummings, author of young adult books about magic, myths and monsters.
I've written the books,
Changed their covers,
tweaked their blurbs,
tried tools from a dozen ads courses.
and I'm still not seeing success.
Now, we're working together to plot and plan our way from barely making ends meet to pulling in a living wage.
Join us on our journey where we'll be mastering the pen to snag that paycheck.
Hello and welcome to Pen to Paycheck Authors Podcast. I'm Samantha Cummings, here with my co-host Matilda Swift, and we're here to write our way to financial success. We're two indie authors with over a dozen books between us and still a long way to go towards the quit the day job dream. If that sounds familiar, listen along for our mastery through missteps journey. Each week we cover a topic to help along the way, and this week it's challenge week.
Ooh.
But first, let's do our wins and twinges of the week.
I am all wins this week, and my first win is thanks to you. So I wanted to say it's recorded on air, not live on air. So I just saw your Instagram story. You're talking about solstice. It's solstice day when we're recording, and you're talking about the Yule lads and the Wild Hunt and all those things. And it made me realize what I'm missing from my plans for my next series, which is a Christmas series. And I've been reading 25 cozy mysteries and Christmas cozy mysteries and similar type books in December, and it's been so inspiring. And the weird thing is, obviously, you read something and it inspires something completely different in your head, so it's not like, oh, I'll do something exactly like that. I'll be reading about reindeer and think, oh, snow, or something more romantic than that. But when you mentioned about these more traditional elements, I realized that's what I'm missing, because I normally set books near where I live. I'm very aware of lots of the myths and traditions and traditional foods of there, and they trickle in all the time, and they feel like part of the fabric of my books. I will always be mentioning some sort of strange tale from history, and detailing in lots of foods that people would eat just specific to that area. And I love that in my books, and I think that's part of my brand. And obviously I don't have that for the North Pole because I'm not from the North Pole. But in my Christmas series, I know it's going to be featuring humans who, there's a lot of backstory to it, but humans who live in the North Pole, basically. And I want them to have a culture. And so I realized that actually I want to put in lots more of the kind of traditional pagan history of Christmas and those sort of mythical details. So today I ordered myself a taxable order, or tax, relieving order of £60 worth of books about Christmas myths and related histories, which I am so looking forward to reading. And so that's my January project. I've set aside already in my year plan time to be planning my Christmas series at the very start of January. And one of the things I'm going to be doing is working through these books. So absolute win, and thank you so much, all due to you.
I'm so glad that my weird things have finally trickled into your life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I think because Christmas has so much around it, right? There's already specific foods. You're caroling, you're going to see pantos, you're going to see plays. There's already a lot of culture that's very specifically around Christmas. That I think there's a lot of other interesting myths and stories that relate to it that get sort of trampled down.
Yeah, it's definitely it helps that I'm on that side of Instagram where I get a lot of more traditional or alternative, I guess you would call it alternative now, but the more spooky witchy things. Yeah, the original stuff. That's all I see on Instagram is just that. I only see the solstice stuff. I'm not really on Christmasgram. I'm on solsticegram.
Yeah, I'm on fully red and green Christmasgram, because I love it, and it just means that there's not space for other things to kind of come in. And there'll be things that I've heard about but not had time to kind of look into before, so I'm just really looking forward to looking into that and kind of weaving that extra texture into my books. I think is what I was missing. I've still not planned out the series because I feel so creative and inspired, and this reading project has been unbelievably positive, and is really kind of keeping my brain in one space and keeping me thinking about what I want my series to be. And I like this, but I wouldn't do it. I don't like this. How is it not working for me? And just inspiring tons of different thoughts. And in that space is I see an Instagram video from you, I'm like, I know what I need to do next. So I feel very positive and inspired. And then last win is I'm about to go on another steam train. I went on a steam train just a few weeks ago. I'm going on another steam train to go and watch yet another version of A Christmas Carol, which is my second play version this year. And I've also been to cinema to see Muppet Christmas Carol. So I'm very festive right now. But as we can see, quite one note with my Christmas interests. So I'm looking forward to these books next year. But yeah, very Christmassy and excited.
Fantastic. I will extend the same favour and say that my win of the week is partly to do with you. So I know what a thing that's going on. I got my book printed, so I generally when I edit, I have to have.
Printed. I printed it.
I'm about to talk about that. Hold your horses. So I like to edit with a physical printout of my book, which maybe a lot of people do, but also a lot of people don't. So rather than me fighting with my printer or paying to get it printed, Matilda prints my books for me. It's a real friendship with benefits. The benefits is printing. So you gave me my book at the weekend when we met up for our Christmas party. And all this week, I put it into my folder, so I did the whole hole punching, which is one of my favourite parts of I love hole punching and putting something into a folder. And
Can I say what really distressed me about your manuscript? It's got no page numbers.
It's got no.
I always added page numbers because I couldn't bear it.
When I sent it to you, I thought, I didn't add page numbers, and that does scare me as well because I think if I drop this,
yeah,
what am I going to do?
I could have page numbered it for you, but also that's now it's in a binder. I feel better about it.
Yes, I have bound it. It's fine. I also hadn't formatted it in any way, so there's no indents on paragraphs and stuff. It was
about that as well.
I know. I was just writing. I know. I was just writing raw. I wasn't thinking about anything other than just smashing words down. Anyway, so I printed it, and ever since putting it in the binder, I read the first chapter just to get a feel for what was going on. And ever since then, I've been so excited to start editing this book. And I've been thinking about the edits that I'm going to make before I start. I'm going to do my read through next week. And, up until the new year, I'll be reading through, making notes and making an editing plan. But this week, I have just been thinking about the book. And it's been so nice. I have taken December off mostly from doing any work other than creative stuff that's not writing. So I've been doing social media and just making plans and things. And it's just given me such breathing space to feel excited again to start work, which is really nice. And I've just had such a nice week of feeling excited to get back to it, which is the best feeling, because you don't want to. The worst feeling is taking a break and stressing about getting back to it and feeling like you don't know what you're doing. So I have come to the point where I'm excited to actually start working again, which is very fun. My whinge, though, is that I've just had such a headache from it. I've been thinking too much, and I keep giving myself a major headache from, I think, just thinking. I think I'm not really cut out for thinking so much. So
I think it's a season. I had a migraine the other day that was so bad that I threw up in a cafe, and I was like, oh no, not my best self.
It is the season. I think it's just because we're so excited for what's to come in the new year, and I'm already thinking about, I've been doing my year plan and everything. I'm already thinking about everything that's coming up. I think it's just so many thoughts all the time.
Heads are
too full, and I just really wish that I could stop thinking.
Yeah.
That'd be really
I was saying
nice.
this before we started, I'm really sleeping so much at the moment. I'm not a big sleeper, I'm not a big fan of sleep, but I just cannot wake up. And I think it is just, and I'm really trying to listen to that. I'm trying to just be, not forcing myself up and dragging myself around. My body says it's tired. I've been thinking so much.
Just thinking too much.
So much thinking I could do.
Yeah, it's our brains are just so powerful.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the fun. That's the fun and the folly of my week.
Yeah. Well, we've also been doing something else this week. It has been challenge week. How has that been for you? What do you challenge yourself to do? How did it go? How are you feeling?
So my challenge was to set up all of my social media sort of plans for next year, which again has been the headache that I've been dealing with. So my challenge started because we put this in our Discord, we both paid for a service from Novel Publicity.
Yeah.
I think that's my brain. I don't remember anything. That's
I'll put
also
it in the
a
show
worry.
notes again. I think a lot of companies have got very similar names, and I think novel publicity is not the most unique name, but it is apt. So I'll put it in the show notes again because it is very good.
So what that was is that you you upload your manuscript, and you give some details about your author name, what genre you write in, the age range the book's for, and any kind of specific wording of the genre and just bits and pieces. So you fill this form in, you upload your manuscript, and you get a marketing report back, which is the best thing in the world. So I did both the first book in my werewolf series and my first book in my Dark Academia series, which I just released, and got a marketing plan back for both of those books, which when I looked at, realised I actually have all the means, like everything that I need to market these books really well. And it's just taken out so many questions, and just means that I don't have to dig deep into my own brain to try and think of the things that I meant when I wrote the books, because I don't remember these things. I write a book and then I'm done, and I just leave it just somewhere else, and my brain does not recognize anything that it's about or any themes that I've written in there, forgotten immediately. So it pulls up all the themes of the book, and it really gives you such a detailed overview. And from reading those reports, my brain was whirring, headache-inducing whirring, and I realised, there's so much here that I could be using for my social media. And because we both love Canva, and I just love Canva so much, I figured I should set up templates for all of these elements of the report. So the first thing I did was I made a huge
Are you doing
list.
it based on like the different customer avatars that it gives you?
Some of it is to do with custom avatars. I made a huge list of all the things I wanted to create. So I wanted to do like hook images and videos where I just kind of play around with the different hooks that it's come up with for me. Try and really highlight the settings of the books, because I love writing the setting of a book and having that be like very it's like a character in the book in itself. So loads of stuff about the setting, character intros. It just gives you all the stuff about everything that you need. Taglines, USPs, reader avatars, and ideas of how to pitch to particular readers. And I made this huge list of everything that I could possibly create from these reports. And then I went into Canva and I didn't make every template. I have to be honest, because it takes so much time. It was like, it takes hours and hours, but I started and I made blank templates of all of the posts that I want to start using on social media, and like adverts and things that I could be running on Facebook or Amazon. And I just made blank posts, but named them all the different names for the things from the report. And then over the next couple of weeks or months, probably, I'm going to be filling these templates in so that I just have the stuff to pick from, and it feels so good. It's such a big job, and it was impossible to do in a week, because I'm still working as well. I haven't broken up from work yet. I'm working up until Christmas Eve, so my day job is still ongoing. So I haven't had huge amounts of time to do it, but just the fact that I've been able to take these reports and get these ideas out of it, it feels so good. It feels headache inducing. Like I say, it's just such big thinking. But that's what I have started. And instead of just carrying on,
include you as a face? No, we talked about that last week.
We have been talking about that. There are some that will just be me videos. So yeah, I'm going to include some of those things in there as well. At the moment, I'm just building templates that are more tempting readers into the world, rather than them seeing me inviting them into the world. But that is a secondary thing that I'm doing, where I will be making some templates and of what I can do with my face. I have a Notion, I went and I took all this information and dumped it into my Notion as well. So I made this huge Notion plan with pages and links to stuff and tables. I feel just like I have won something. I don't know what I've won yet. I don't know. Obviously, you just don't know if these efforts are ever going to pay off, whether it's going to move the needle in any way. But I feel like I've got control.
I think it's so worth just trying, though. Yeah, because the hooks and the taglines and the scripts that you get out of novel publicity, they feel like I now confidently know one aspect of the marketing is not wrong. Like in the past, I'd be doing things like, you know, trying to make a video, get some text for it, and like maybe make a graphic, and like just like, be like, is this the right thing?
Yeah.
Is
Is
the
this what
graphic
it's
right? Is the
about?
text right? Yeah, and like. How do I explain my whole book in just a few words? Or like, can I say that? And just spend so much time questioning myself. In the end, I like wouldn't do stuff. I get just like,
Yeah.
never mind. This is
Yeah.
too much work just thinking about it.
Yeah.
But like it's taken all the big decisions out of it, and now you can be like, okay, I know this is a hook that made me want to read the book, and I wrote the book,
Yes.
so I'm the right audience for it,
Yeah.
and it's so hooky and it feels correct to the book. So if I make graphics around that and it describes the graphics you can make, then it's going to be at least like, okay, now all I have to do is like try and find my audience.
Yeah,
With that,
exactly.
and that's
the
taking some of the
reader,
things out of the equation.
those reader avatars that you get from the report are so good. One of them,
Yeah.
one of my reading groups is like the MTV generation, which is exactly like, that's exactly some of the people that I'm trying to reach. Because as well, one of my comps is Teen Wolf for my werewolf series, and Teen Wolf was on MTV at some point. I think that there was a whole thing to do with MTV and Teen Wolf. I can't remember if that's what it was originally on back in the day, but it's just it's given me so many good ideas, and each of the reader groups or the reader profiles is like a different facet of me anyway. They are all me, but broken down, so it just feels like I've done the right thing. If this report has managed to crystallize these specific parts of myself that I put into the book, then it feels right. Like I've done something good. So I have been, and also so
like
excited.
Last week, like we said last week, it just feels like in the past I've been trying to market to like the whole audience, and that's what's felt really hard. It's like the whole audience is like people like me, but it's like, we've talked about this before, just that we have so many different facets to ourselves, and not everything is gonna target every part of you. So having that, like, just focus this part on like MTV people, the MTV generation, or just focus this part on like mine has got like Anglophiles because it's a British culinary, like small village culinary cozy. Like, just target the Anglophiles this way, just target puzzle lovers this way, rather than trying to be like, okay, how do I capture? Oh, I can't stole my headphones. Sorry. How do I capture like Anglophiles who love baking and who also love small villages and also logic puzzles and books? It's like, I love all those things, but each of those things in me is not targeted in the same way, and the same for the reader. And it just felt like that was so stupid that I can't believe there's an epiphany.
I know,
So
but
obvious.
I always feel like the epiphanies that we have are so obvious, but you have to have them. Like, you can't just know. You can know the stuff, but until you have to learn the lesson to know.
Yeah.
And the lesson is feeling stupid every time. It's somebody else saying it to you and you saying, oh that makes sense.
Yeah. And also like, I'm glad I wasn't just finding it difficult before because I'm an idiot. Like, I just hadn't understood this aspect of it, and it's fine. Like, I can't be born knowing everything, just a lot of stuff. And so that felt, I haven't thought about like making social media content related to it because it just feels like an enormous job that I do not have time for right now. So yes, well done your challenge week.
Thank you. I feel like I've done a good job, but I also feel like I've opened a can of worms, and that's part of the headache, is trying to basically translate the report into something usable, and that's like, it gives you a lot of stuff, but you also have to decide how you're gonna show that stuff to people. So there's been a lot of just looking at the report and making notes and then thinking while staring at a screen. So I'm really good at that.
Because it's also like, how do you, because there's so much in the report. Again, we're not sponsored by this, we just both really like it.
No, it was just so
there's
good.
so much in the report that like, you really have to think, how am I going to meaningfully use this? Like, I'm not a full-time marketer, so I cannot actually, you could be a full-time marketer and work on the content that they provide you. That would give you a job for a year. Like, all that stuff. You're like, oh, great. But sadly, I also have to write like 8 books next year. 9 books? 8. I'm writing 8 books next year. Yeah. So I cannot do a full-time marketing job as well.
Yeah, we try. I'm going to try. If I at least do 20% of what I'm planning, I'll be happy.
Yeah.
That's like my low bar. Just 20%. Just try. So what is it that you were challenging yourself with?
I have forgotten exactly what I said, and I realized as soon as you started the call, I was like, I should listen back. I know, I know a significant part of what it was, but I can't remember. I've done two things this week, and I can't remember if I said I would do both of them. One was a lucky bonus. So one thing that I've done that I don't think was actually my challenge week, but was related and needed doing, was making a year plan.
Yes.
I can't remember if I said I would do it, but it needed doing, and it felt like it belonged in challenge week. So my year plan was just like, I have to write these 8 books. Four of them are in a new series, which I already know is harder than just starting like, in the middle of a series, a new book. So I had to kind of make myself time to do that. I had to make myself time to make sure I have the drafting, the editing, the proofing and formatting all tessellating together to get everything out on the release dates that I'd kind of penciled in. And I put it on the big wall planner, unfurled the big wall planner, put it all in there, color coded everything. And it was so useful because there were a couple of parts where I realized actually I needed to move them around. So, for example, I had got the Christmas series, books 1 and 2, they come out on the same day, and I got them both proofed and formatted quite close to that day. And then I was like, oh, no, I want to do a big arc push on them. So I obviously need to get them done before then so I can put them in that galley. So then that was fine, though I had time to move them back because I've got some sort of floating weeks during the year because my schedule means that like each book takes about a month, but obviously there are more than 8 months in the year, so I have got some free weeks, but then I'm also going to conferences. I have got time that I've scheduled myself 3 weeks to rewrite book 1 when I realize it's wrong after having written it the first time. It feels good to have that in. I've also scheduled my time like planning for series and some admin time. I think I've not got enough admin time, which makes me feel a bit concerned. But I think in my editing weeks, I think one thing I want to really make sure I'm doing this year is I don't make really good time on my editing time. I really, as we've said before, like push up against a deadline, which means that I sort of dawdle at the start of my editing time, and then like I'm in a panic at the end. And what I need to do is like become a fundamentally different person who isn't like that this year. Or just get better at observing and figure out like what are ways in which I can not rely on the panic and only work towards that, because I'm wasting days at the moment on like pretending to work and then like, oh, let me just fiddle around with this thing. And it's like either what I should do is give myself a shorter deadline, and so like rather than 2 weeks for editing, give myself 1 week and then like just have a 1 week of panic, or just be better and maybe like give myself for like the first week of it, give myself like I only do mornings, I only do a couple of chapters a day in the mornings, and the afternoons I do admin or something like that. But I want to get I'm really trying to at the moment like focus on, I'm observing myself and I'm trying to improve. I'm not going to wake up tomorrow and become a different person. But yeah, so I can't remember if that was on my plan originally, but I did do it. I had it on my list for this week, make a year plan, which felt so good. And I feel like the best person on earth right now. When you've got just like colors and lines and everything is like mapped out for the year. It's like I've done it already. That like futurist strength of just like, it feels like I've achieved all that already.
That's the problem is, like I've got it all written down. I'm sure I can do those dates that I've put in, but I still have no idea how time works, even though I always tell myself I figured it out. I'm like, I actually don't know how. I don't know how. So I mean, you sent me a picture of your schedule, of your calendar, and it looks fantastic. I love that. I love the whole color coding thing. I can't color code. I don't know what it is. It just doesn't translate to anything in my brain. Color coding. It's weird, and because I'm such a visual person, and I've got so many different colored post-its all around me, but it just doesn't work for me. It doesn't make me feel good.
That is interesting. I mean, to an extent, I think the color coding doesn't do a huge amount. In theory, it helps me see like, oh, how is the month balanced? Like some months I'm just editing, or some months I'm just doing like a lot of formatting. But like, there's nothing I can do about that because that's the only way everything kind of Tetrises into place. I think it really helps me to have like the writing periods like highlighted there in green. So I'm like, okay, that is a time when I definitely need to be like, and I'm really doing this like burst writing. So I'm just writing a draft in 1 week, and it has to be the whole book all in my head at once in 1 week, and like writing, doing nothing else, and like a long week, so usually like 9 days. But which I'm aware is not a week, but it's a week with like the weekends either side. To me, it feels like a week.
We're now deciding on the duration of a week. Okay, so a 9-day week.
Borrow the weekend.
Got it. Yes.
You borrow the weekend the week before to feel like that, and then you get travel days either end. So it's sort of is 7 weeks in a 9 week period. 7 days in a 9 day period. So anyway, so it's like 9 days. Because I've got this highlighted in green on my plan, I know I need to stay healthy for those. Like, there's no flexibility in that. There is some flexibility in my editing weeks. There's some flexibility in my proofing weeks. Like, I've given myself several days. They probably have twice as much time as is needed in those, because I know I'm actually quite a dawdler getting started. Whereas the writing, the whole point is I need to be 100% on the entire time. That is how I keep the mystery in my head. So that means that any time of the green week, like, I have to have like be fully rested, be really like no admin is expected that week, be my most healthy smoothie drinking self in the run up to that. So that does help me to have that color coded in. Everything else is sort of just so it looks nicer to look at, doesn't look just like black and white scariness. And things I've got my launches there outlined in gold, so I can see, you know, where they are in the year and kind of get a sense of them as coming up. But everything else, it just makes it a bit easier to look at. Otherwise, it would look overwhelming. I had it penciled in to start with, and I was like, oh gosh, it just looks like a bunch of arrows and words, and I can't see what I'm looking at. So, for a not very visual person, the colour does help me.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's impressive enough. So what was your other challenge that you... Yes, what was the thing that you think? Because I thought that was your challenge. So
interesting. No, the thing that was my challenge was to get a launch plan in place for my new series. Does that sound familiar?
Not to me, no. But then I don't remember anything that happened yesterday, so...
I'm just going to be 1 second. Just step away, because my cat who loves to be bad, has deliberately brought up a packet of food to just try and break into right in front of me here. So just, I'll be 2 seconds.
I'll talk amongst myself.
Yeah.
So she actually she's had to leave the podcast. So dear listeners, I'm currently drinking a delicious cup of mulled wine, which, if I'm sounding chattery and mental, is because I am drinking alcohol. Oh, she's returned. She doesn't look very happy. How was it?
Devastated.
Oh.
She's like got on the shelf, destroying. It's like a really nice, you know, lasting packet that she's clearly been chewing for a while, and then has brought upstairs just to show me that she's chewing it.
Yes, yeah.
And has destroyed this nice durable bag. So
Juno does that to me. Juno comes up to me chewing but I think it's pretend chewing stuff, so she kind of like tosses her head back like she's got food in her mouth, as if to say, like, you know, this is what I could be doing. They're so fun. Pets are so funny. I love them.
Just devastating. She's trying to sabotage my like meal prepping organized self, because that is part of my granola preparation section. I cannot believe you brought that just to show me that, but that's fine.
Yes, yeah.
That is one of my challenges this week, tolerating that cat. She is very lovable. So yes, what I think is my actual challenge week was making a launch plan for my next book. And so I've got this book series, and it's time limited. So we talk about, like, the thing that I really love about this new series is time limited, because it's a Christmas series. So I can only really promote it between September and like end of December, early January. And with my current series, it's not time limited, right? It's a small village culinary cozy mystery. And I could put out book one and be like, oh, you know, I'll advertise it a bit and sort of do some tests and then see how it goes. But there's not really a huge point of advertising until I've got like a few more books in the series, because the books are very short. So they don't, you know, it costs a lot or it doesn't make a lot by getting several books read. I have to really have several books in the series to make it worthwhile. And you can sort of back off ads and you'd be like, oh, I'll start again when I've got more books. And you can be like, well, it's not a great time for me, so I'll start again later. And then I'll start ads and I'll try and wrap them up later, and then like go bit by bit. And like you can live within your comfort zone in that. And like for me, what has meant is like not really advertising the series.
Yeah.
which is fine. Like I'm planning my year next year. I'm going to have a big push in January, and like that is going to be my learning ads phase. I'm putting money into my business and learning ads that way. But this Christmas series, I can't do that because if I miss the window at the end of next year, there's nothing I can do until the end of the following year. Like there's no benefit to sort of slowly with it.
Yeah.
And I could, if I in theory, right? So what I want to do is like learn ads next year and like work hard with my current series to learn ads platforms. It is like the ideal series to make a big financial push with and say like, if I invested thousands of pounds into the advertising of this series, I would hope to make thousands more back. And that feels horrifying.
Yes.
Just the concept of that, like, because it's much easier to say like, I'll just start with like a couple pounds a day, then I'll add like increase it to a few more pounds a day, and you could get from there to hundreds of pounds a day, right? But like saying I've got a time limited launch, so if I'm gonna try and make money from this series, I need to invest money in a quick concerted effort sort of way. I do not like that idea at all, and it would be very easy for me just to be like, I'll just do a little bit of advertising and see how the series goes.
Yeah.
But I'm on purpose putting out 4 books in a row, like 4 books together, in order to mean that I've got enough to make it worthwhile advertising them. And I think that the Christmas cozy market is underserved, so I think that they should sell. I'm hoping that I write books that people want to buy. So what's my excuse? And my excuse currently is like, I don't really know what I would do, like how I would plan the money, what that would look like which ads platforms I would use, all that sort of stuff. So anyway, so my challenge was make a launch plan.
Yeah.
And like make a launch plan with like literal money put in against different ads platforms in different weeks and try and decide how to do that. So, and obviously I don't know how to do that. So I was trying to think, and I'm putting it off all week. And sorry, my cat's trying to destroy our setup again. And I'm putting it off and be like, I don't know how to start on this. And I've talked to a few people about it. Just like, I'm doing it just to try and get it out there and make sure it's, saying it out loud. It's going to happen. But I sat down yesterday to do it. I didn't really know where to start. So I obviously went to our best friend Gemini for this because I don't need to know this. All I need to do is have like a starting place and have some ideas and then be able to bounce it off different people. So it was quite a lot of back and forth actually. It was not super good at creating this plan. I think it assumed a lot of things, even though I told it information, it would assume other information, and it was because I guess there's not a huge amount of info that people publicize on like different ads platforms and how they do for different genres. So, but that was useful just to kind of see its response and be like, oh no, not that. No, why have you chosen this? Can you move this money around here?
Yeah.
So I asked it to kind of make a plan week by week that align with these launches and like how much money I put into different platforms across Facebook, Amazon, and BookBub, and like what the budget would be, what it projected for orders and page reads, and what it projected for profit, and like just to get numbers I could see and think, is that sensible? Is that not? Like, what does that look like for me? And it took a long time to do, but it was incredibly helpful. And I don't think the numbers are accurate at all. But now I've got a plan. And what I'm going to do then is use these numbers. And when I'm advertising in January on my new series, I can then see, oh, actually, this much money in a series like this, so if I only had the first 4 books, would give me this much coming out, or I would predict that. And also I just want to run it past people and see, like, does this, like, escalation of spend over these number of weeks look sensible? Does the concentration in these months, or on these platforms look realistic? So I did it. And I haven't sent it to anybody yet because I want to have another look through it and like kind of judge it myself with fresh eyes. But I do want to. I can't say if I'm going to do it this week. I think I'm going to save it after Christmas because otherwise people won't look at it. So I'm going to save it to the new year and send it out to people and just say, can you tell me what looks wrong with this from you who have done a similar thing? And send it to people who I know have done similar sorts of launches. So, and I will be able to get responses, which feels much easier than going to people and saying like, how much money should I spend on ads?
Yeah,
which is just like, how long is a piece of string?
I know, it's such it's so difficult, which is why no one ever really does it. Or if you're doing ads when you're first starting out, you kind of just throw a couple of quid in a day and just try the smallest amount that you could get away with. There's no answer. No one can tell you how much to spend. You have to spend money to figure it out. So it's just a gamble every time. But eventually the gamble turns into a strategy, which is obviously where you want to get to. But you have to make the jump first. And you're at that point where you kind of just going to have to do it.
But I think I want to make it move from. I think I want to make it move from like speculating to investing. Like not necessarily feeling confident that it's moving to investing, but like feeling like I'm making that direction of movement.
Yes.
Because if I run ads this year on a similar sort of series, in similar platforms, and I get statistics about how that works. You know, obviously my new series, it might just not sell, it might just not take off. You never know what's going to happen. But it feels like, you know, that's like Coke inventing new Coke. You know, it wasn't crazy for them to invent new Coke and put money behind the ads. It just happened that people didn't like it. And I want to kind of be like that. I want to be... I give a lot of Coca-Cola analogy for somebody who doesn't like Coca-Cola at all. But like everyone knows Coca-Cola. So I want to... Like... I don't want to do the same thing in future. I don't want to just like start with £2 and then £3 and £4, particularly because I've got this time limited series in which there's absolutely no point doing that. It also, what was interesting was with doing this was trying to really put a number on how much money I wanted to make, which felt horrible as well.
Yeah. We do have a podcast episode coming up about that sort of thing as well, which would be fun to talk about.
I'm regretting choosing that episode because it felt very unpleasant.
I'm looking forward to it.
When I had to give Gemini some parameters, I realised like, I'd have to tell it like how much profit I wanted to make in order to kind of make a plan. And I was like, I don't know, because that's the issue I've had for a long time. Was like I've saved up money on purpose so I could quit my job, but what I could do is invest, translate my business, and then hope that it paid off and brought me more profit. And then meant I could not work for longer. But if I gamble it and then don't see it back, then it's like I have to be back in work in a year, and I don't want that. So that feels like a horrible decision to make.
It's funny, I've been thinking about this a lot recently. So it's so difficult to say or decide or try and figure out how much money at this point we expect to make, or that we want to say that we want to make. So because I'm like a witchy woo person, and I get a lot of Yule content on Instagram, something that I've been getting a lot is the 12 wishes of Yule. I find it very difficult to say.
Even I have seen some of that at the moment. I was like, is this a new thing? I've never heard of this.
So what you do is you write down 12 wishes on pieces of paper, and every day you burn a wish. And the whole thing is like, then on the last day, on New Year's Eve, you open the last one, and that's the wish that you have to work on for the year, and the other wishes you leave to the universe.
That sounds unappealing.
It's my favourite thing that I've ever read. So obviously I'm doing this. But the thing that I was, the realisation I had was, one of my wishes was, I was writing down, make this much money from my books. And when I wrote I wrote the pound sign, and I was going to write a number in, and then I stopped because I thought, I don't know, even for a wish that it's not even like I think it's going to come true. I'm just doing it for like the fun. I couldn't think of how much money I should be writing on a piece of paper that I'm going to probably burn on a candle for nothing. And I thought that's a real weird mindset realization that I just don't know how to get past. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know how much you should be like dreaming, or how much you should be realistic. I don't know. I don't understand.
We did say a while ago we wanted to have like a January of delusion, like a full on just a delusional month. So I think what we should do is do some delusional things around money and like around business things, and like make some big asks and just see how that feels.
Yes,
because I think a lot of I really struggle with this. Like I put in and I'll say it, like I put in when I was like, I had to tell Gemini numbers, like how much profit do I want, like 10 grand, which I was like, that's actually not a lot of money, right? And like that's profit. So obviously I'd make more in the books. So I was like, And then looking at that, when I looked at the result it came out with, I was like, oh, that's really small.
Yes.
And like it felt small, and it felt
Yes.
sad that that's all I'd asked for
Yeah.
on this series that like I'm going to work really hard on, and I'm going to put 4 books out, and I'm going to get great covers, and I know my covers are good because like I'm in anytime I'm in a group promo with people who are like bigger than me, smaller than me, it doesn't matter. Like my covers get the most clicks always because my cover designer is just a genius among humanity, and just makes the most clickable covers. So like I know the covers won't be an issue. I think the books will be hopefully good, and I've been working on this for a long time. So like, why do I think I can't make money?
Yeah.
That's it, right? I think I can't make money, and I will feel foolish if I put a big pitch and literally throw my money away. That's what it feels like. Because if I wanted to make the profit of 10 grand, right? Let's say, you know, I had like I had channels that were okay, and I have to warm the series up. So let's say I had to invest 10 grand to make 10 grand. Like that's fine, you know. And even if I had to invest like 15 grand to make 10 grand, like as long as that's profit, like doesn't matter what I'm investing because I'm getting that money back, and then I've got profit, and I have that money to invest because I have it saved up for like living on, and it just felt like looking back on the stats for like making 10 grand, it felt really sad that that's the amount I'd asked for. And then I asked it to also like give me ideas for like, can you tell me what I would have to do if I want to make 25 grand or 50 grand? And they were all within like the money it suggested spending, they're all within the budget of like money I own. And again, I don't know if his numbers are at all feasible. Like the numbers it's giving me, it might be that I would have to invest a lot more to do that. But even just looking at those numbers, like, oh, why did I ask for 10 grand?
Yep.
Partly it's because like that I've set myself as like financial contingency plan where like I am working my way up over the next couple of years to making the money I need full time. So I kind of pitched it based on that of like, oh, this is how much I need to be making by that point in time.
But
why not?
But why
ask
do
for
you
more?
have to, yeah, why, this is the thing, why do we believe that we have to build up to earn this?
Yeah.
And I was talking to me and my boyfriend were having like a big life existential crisis talk yesterday. And it was about just like how people believe that in order to make more money or do well in a job, like in an office, they believe that they have to work harder. And I categorically do not believe that you have to work harder to earn more money in an office job. I think that you're going to, like in most jobs that I've had in offices, you're given a pay rise every year, and it's not determined on how hard you've actually worked. They just have to give you more money. And unless you're chasing promotions and stuff, which is a different game altogether, if you're just looking for more money in a job, working hard doesn't do it. And I don't think that working hard is how anybody makes more money. I think it's just you just keep doing what you're doing well. But it's like there's just this whole thing about
that's the mindset.
Yeah, exactly. It's just all mindset stuff. And I've been watching a lot of Taylor Swift stuff recently. So I'm in
I mean the documentary series excellent.
Yes, I'm in Taylorland. So I've watched I'm up to date with the documentary episodes. I watched the Final Eras show, and then I went back and watched the Long Pond recording thing that she did for the Evermore and Folklore albums and stuff. And I just love watching her being like, she's not a cool person. She's not cool in the slightest. And it's like almost, and I get a lot of secondhand embarrassment from watching people in general doing anything. This is the me problem. But there was lots of clips of her as a child singing and like going to shows and just taking her guitar and an amp and singing because she so wholeheartedly believed it. And obviously she's been doing this for 30 odd years. She's been doing it since she was a child. So she has just worked and worked and worked and gotten to where she is. But she just believed, and now she's at a point where she just expects that everything that she wants to do, either it works, and if it doesn't work, it's just something to cast aside.
I think her wanting is the thing, right? Like when I was watching the documentary, I was like, so much of it was about like she had this dream and she followed it, and she wanted the big stadium tour and she did it. And I was like, I think a lot of times I hold myself back by like just not having a big goal. And it's like, if I set a big goal, I can achieve it. But I don't let myself set a big goal because it will be terrible if I don't achieve it. I will feel the sense of failure and shame. And so I don't. And then it's just like, what if I set myself the goal of like, I'm going to make a huge amount of profit at the end of next year from this new series. And as long as I'm not losing money, that's fine.
Yes. Yeah. And I do
Because like,
think,
even if all they did was break even, right? Like I would still have
yes.
gained lots and lots of audience.
Yeah.
So what's the downside? There is a downside. If I lose money, that'd be the
But
downside. I would be broke.
that is the definition of like we as small people living smaller lives than like millionaires, is that if a millionaire, before they get to be a millionaire, they don't see losing all of their money as a problem. Starting from scratch isn't a problem for them. If they had to go back to a job to get, to start again, so had to go back to working for someone else to start again, or they'd just ask somebody else for more money, and they'd just they wouldn't see bottoming out as the end of their story. And we think because we're normal people, we see that as like that's the fear. The fear is the line where you've got no money in your bank account.
Yeah.
But for other people, that is not the fear point. The fear point is stopping.
Yeah.
The fear point is just not achieving. And that's like...
Or not trying, I think,
or not
right?
trying, yeah. And I think that to me is like, I've been having that epiphany over and over again through this last year of... Because where I live, there's like a lot of rich people. Like I live in a very rich area, like very lucky to be where I am. And I know a lot of people with a lot of money, and I see people like where I live, people drive Porsches and Maseratis and Bentleys. That's normal. Those cars are, I don't even look at them. And I know that that's privileged. I don't even look at these cars that drive past me every day with, private number plates that cost more than my house. But every so often, like every couple of months, I just have that realization that these people around me, a lot of them were born into the money, but a lot of them weren't. And
a lot of them weren't. Yeah, they just built businesses.
And they have just not been scared to risk it all. And I keep having that thought of, what would I do? We've gone off so much on a tangent, but what would I do?
Well, I think we haven't. I think challenge week is this the purpose of this?
It's the thinking.
Challenge week.
If I was going to risk it all, what would I do?
Yeah.
Well, what a question.
I mean, that's the question of like, if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you do? That I think is a really good question that people ask. And if I knew I couldn't fail, I would, because I think I've done everything I can for this like new series in terms of researching, in terms of thinking about market, in terms of thinking about the book, and like choosing a thing I can succeed at. There's nothing more I can do. So if I knew I couldn't fail, I would like put all my money on Red.
Yeah.
Right? Like I'd put all my money on this.
Yeah.
And like advertise it.
Yeah.
To no end. What I think is so interesting, because I was talking to another writer friend yesterday, and it's a general chat that we have, so it was not about writing specifically, but we were talking about my Christmas reading challenge, and I was saying one of my favourite books that I'd read recently, as I was reading it, I found it really confusing, because I was like, I'm sure this book is a standalone, but it reads so much like a series. There's so much referring back to earlier books. I was like, it's interesting writing technique, but it feels like it's part of a series, but it's not. And I looked at it as part of a series. And it's part of a series this is book 8 in the series. And I think the publisher has very conspicuously made it look it's not a series book, because it's a Christmas book. So you can read it at Christmas, right? Like the Christmas market is very hungry. People will read mid-series books for cozy mystery because they all stand alone. And this was not quite, it was cozy-ish, but they all stand alone. And I'm pretty sure in the rest of the series they all have the series title on the cover, and this one it did not. And obviously it's in the description, you could read it and see it's part of a series, but like this I think I bought on a Black Friday deal, so just bought it based on the cover. I was like, that looks cute, have a quick skim of the blurb.
Impulse.
Yes, 99 cents in my basket. That book has been for quite some time #1 in the cozy mystery charts, because, and it wouldn't be if you knew it was part of a series, right? If you knew that and you're like, oh, I don't want to start on book 8. And in fact the book reads completely as the best possible book to come in on mid-series. There's a couple of long-term storylines that you can clearly tell have been going on for books and books that come to an end in this book, so it reads like a very complete standalone. Like there's nothing left dangling, and there's nothing that you come in on that you are not informed of, so it's a very, very good tactic. But that book, it's by a trad publisher, but one that does very, very digital heavy publishing. So it's a publisher called Boldwood in the UK, and they must have put an enormous amount of money behind this book to get it so prominent for the Christmas period. And it's totally paid off. It's been number one for weeks. And I would now go back and read other books in the series. And I've seen other books in the series around for a while. It's exactly the sort of book I would like. It's set on a farm, on an English farm, and I love that. I have my own series set near a farm. And I've just never picked it up. And it's like, it's already 8 books in. So I'm like, oh, do I want to join a series 8 books in? Now I do. Now I read that series. And because I read this one Christmassy one, even though I know the end point of several storylines, I would still go back and read from the beginning, or I would read from now on and keep going.
Yeah.
And like, it's such a tactical marketing decision that they've put money behind this book, that they put it on a countdown deal, that they have obviously pushed it very heavily around this time of year. It feels like for me it's been everywhere, and it succeeded. So if I knew I couldn't fail, I would bet a lot of money on this, and I would say I want to make big money on it. Which is interesting, because I think after I looked at that report from Gemini, that plan of like, how to make 10 grand, I asked it for 2 more higher figures, and I picked the middle one as the one to kind of go with. And now I'm like, well, I think partly that was like, because that's the amount of money that if I really did lose it, it would be awful, but not like life ending. And I think I need to have a think about the numbers. But maybe I need to go back and like pick a bigger number.
Yeah, because you can always set yourself a point where if you aren't making, like you've done this already, you've made a spreadsheet for this. If you're not making a certain amount by a certain amount of time, then you'll have a contingency plan of saying, right, we'll pull the plug on that time to try and recoup money elsewhere. I think
with these books, it's really tricky, because like you get 4 months and you're trying to ramp up interest over 4 months.
Yeah.
And really 3 months, right? Because you get like September, October, November, and you're sort of going to coast into December of it. There's not, I think, a great point at which, I probably need to set some contingency planning for that. But basically, I'm just sort of relying on it escalating in terms of like getting organic reach from that. And I probably would have invested a good few £1,000s, like a good chunk of money, before any point at which I can make a decision, which feels scary. And then I think I will feel a bit of like a sunk cost fallacy. They're like, I'll just do it 1 more week. So I think I do need to have like a decision point.
Yes.
But maybe plan towards a big launch. And what would I'm doing it.
Yeah, I think that's it.
I'm going to go back and read it.
We both need to think so much bigger. And we've talked about this when we've been talking about our Audacity list that we made, that just, when you look at it now, it's just a to-do list. We don't think big enough. We really don't. I really want to start thinking the biggest that you could ever think. I really want to be like, as cliche as this is, and like as old as I am to be saying this, what would Taylor Swift do?
Yeah. Taylor Swift's like our age, so that's fine.
Yes, definitely our age, not like several years younger.
Like, but in the same category, she's in the same box ticking. You know?
Yeah, born in the same decade. I'll take it. I just really, at the moment, I'm taking a lot of inspiration from her doing exactly what she wants, and it doesn't hit all the time. Like there's so much discourse around which is
a very bad actress, album, I would say.
Yes, exactly, and
like that's fine. You don't have to be good at everything.
Yeah, but she doesn't care, because she just does what she wants, and that's what I want to be in my life. I want to be the person that people are like, oh, I don't think that's your best thing. I'm like, I don't care. I don't care. I just want to do it. So, and I want to get paid to do it.
Yeah. I would be in Cats if they remade Cats, even though I'm like, I'm bad at it, but that was fun.
I won't even watch Cats, but I'd be in Cats.
Yeah.
Seems like great fun.
And I think it has so crystallized me, like watching the documentary series, just having the dream is a big part of it, and like be able to ask for big things, and not trying to like sneak along and be like, oh, maybe if I'm not loud and no one notices, I'll be able to advertise this book and sell a few more copies, a few more, and nobody will know. Yeah, like why not make a big push? Yeah, and fail.
Yes,
be homeless. Never eat again.
It'll be fine. It's okay. You've got people to fall back on. This is the thing that we're so privileged. We have family and friends, and we've got such a great group in the Discord as well. Like, we're not actually doing this alone. We've come so far in the last couple of years of we've built such a good community where you can bounce ideas around, and there are people there to like hype you up or to talk you down if you need it. And we've got family that we can fall back on if we're like really struggling. That's a blessing that we should really take more advantage of. Like, I'm just like, just spend all my money, then go to my dad and say, please, sir, can I have some more?
Can I live in your basement, please? I'm so sorry. I lost all my money.
Yeah, like, is that okay? Obviously, I wouldn't do that, but
I dated somebody. I dated somebody once who was like a, incredibly successful, like millionaire tech company owner. I have no idea what the company did. Something to do with maybe telephones. I don't know. But like who did not enjoy life, like had no friends, did not like, never rested. Not a life I want. But we were talking about this, like his business, and I was like, oh gosh, you're not worried, like what would happen if the business struggled? And he's like, I'd just start again. Like I would just go from zero to start again. And I cannot get that mindset. Like, and it was genuinely his mindset. I think he'd had other businesses that had failed.
Yep.
And I think for me, because it feels so hard to start this business, and I'm maybe making it harder than it needs to be.
Yeah.
It does not feel like I've got that real scarcity mindset. There's no sense in which I think like, if this doesn't work, I'll just write romantically.
Yeah.
Like, or I'll just write romance. Like, that's not a thing. I think like I was like, this is all I can do. I will never be able to do anything else, and I just need to make this tiny little meager skill I have work. Like, that's not true. And
no,
I need
it's
to.
Not.
I think we need an episode on like.
Yes, like
scarcity mindset.
Yeah, we definitely do. Like, and
thinking bigger.
We actually have more skills than just writing the genre that we're writing. We could start again. If Amazon deleted our entire back catalogue, we could start again.
Yeah.
Like I do feel like that, but I feel like having a good conversation about like more stuff around that would be really good.
Yeah, I think thinking bigger is a good topic. That was not really the topic of today, but that's what challenge week brings you, because you have to do something you didn't want to do, and like, there's a reason why you didn't want to do it.
Yes, it definitely you're opening the door to a lot of other stuff. Which is what we needed. But we've spoken about this far more than I thought we were going to. So we're creeping up to an hour. So I think we should cap it unless you have anything else to say.
No, I have got a cat sat on my lap who's acting like she's done nothing wrong, and now I need to go and see what else she's done downstairs.
Yes, so the kitchen will be a mess. Okay, so next week it is our Q4 review. How are you feeling about that?
Not great. I don't remember what I put on my Q4 list, so I clearly haven't done it because I haven't looked at it once. I know we talked last time about like having a different way of doing our quarterly plans and quarterly reviews. Yeah. I need to find a way to make it more visible to myself. I think that's the issue. Like, because I don't know where it is. I don't know where my list is, and I know it is every quarter. So people are going to be shouting and like at their headphones, like, why every single quarter you have this conversation? Every time the end of the quarter comes around as a surprise. So yeah, I need to have a long, hard look at myself and figure out why I'm not making my quarters work better. How about you?
I think that the post-its on my wall they were my like, goal things to do. I'm pretty sure I updated them. It seems updated because I do have on here like do the 2026 plan. So obviously that was me thinking ahead for the last quarter. So I think that I have got my list in front of me. This is why post-its are great. And I think I've done some of them. I don't think I've finished everything, but I'm excited to talk about what I have done and also talk about why I haven't done other stuff. So I'm okay on this front. I've done good.
Okay.
Go me.
Well, good for you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for tuning in and listening to this one. And hopefully, if you did a challenge, it's gone well. Let us know in the Discord if you have challenged yourself, and if you didn't, there's still time to do something that you don't want to do, and tell us all about it. As usual,
have an existential crisis along the way.
Yes, and have like a huge epiphany and then a mental breakdown. Our coffee is open if you want to get in any last minute donations before the end of the year. So make sure to head over to
Christmas
the link.
Present?
Yeah, send us a little cash for Christmas. Why not?
Feel like Santa.
Yeah. And also head into our Discord so that you can continue this conversation with us and talk about all this stuff and shout at Matilda for never remembering what her quarterly list was. Yes, thank you very much for tuning in, and we will talk to you next week. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You've been listening to Pen to Paycheck Authors.
Stay tuned for our next episode, and don't forget to subscribe to learn how to write your way to financial success.